This time on Orc's Life, our hero Rorgork runs through 2 dungeons. His journeys in the Stone Talon Peaks continue, and much more. But to start with, we have to head back to the Barrens. It seems I'll never escape this place, although on the bright side, I don't actually spend too long here this time. The reason I'm even here to begin with is to get to the entrance to my second dungeon of the journey, the Wailing Caverns. The Wailing Caverns, it's such a beautiful place. The only problem is, it's being overrun by cultists trying to bring about a nightmare in the Emerald Dream. At least that's what I think is happening. I didn't really pay too much attention to the lore of the dungeon. The group I got into was comprised of 2 people from my guild, another guy, and a jerk who left early. Luckily he was a DPS and I was actually competent at the whole DPS thing this time. But seriously, throughout the dungeon he kept saying he had to go, and I seriously mean this, who joins a dungeon when they know they have to leave early? It really does screw the other guys over. Alright, rant over. Wailing Caverns is probably one of my favourite low level dungeons. Obviously the first time I played it was on retail, and I believe it is cut down significantly there, but what there is to offer in retail is a blast, and it's even better in classic. And let me tell you, the bosses in here are top notch. My favourite boss here is the boss called Scum, and that is purely for its name. The whole dungeon works up to a mini gauntlet fight ending with you killing a giant Murloc. And for those of you who don't know, Murlocs are my favourite creatures in all of World of Warcraft. I absolutely love them. Next up, it's time yet again to visit the Class Trainer. This is an exciting time folks. You see, I've hit level 20, which means I can finally unlock dual wielding. I've been saving weapons just for this. I also get tons of new abilities and, oh, what's this? A new class quest! Brilliant, let's get going then. So, yet again, it's back to, guess where? The Barrens, you're right. I really hope this is the last time, I'm there. So, I hop on a flight and head down south of the crossroads to camp something or other, and then nip inside the building next to the Flight Master. At this point, I've got my fingers well and truly crossed that I'm going to be getting a new armor piece, or maybe a new weapon, or hey, see what I do here? Both, maybe. Well, it doesn't work out quite that way, but we'll get to that. First, we need to start our task. Now, before we do, please bear in mind that I've only just unlocked dual wielding, so I'm not quite proficient in it. And also, dual wielding has a 19% chance extra miss chance. So really, I'm well and truly fucked. Or so I thought. The task was going to be quite a simple one. Within a time-gated 30 minutes, I must kill 5 bugs in the Southern Barrens and return their twitching antennae. Remember 2 sentences ago when I said I thought I'd be fucked because of a mischance? Well, it turns out you get quite proficient with dual-wielded weapons quite quickly. So after 1 death and a few kills, I managed to finish a quest with about 20 minutes or so to spare. You would think this was the end of the class quest, however you would be wrong. You see, this is a 2-part quest, and the next part takes me back to Mr. Blind from last episode. You see, this guy is dead set on crafting us a nice armor set, but he first needs us to travel all over Azeroth through Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, collecting resources for him to be able to make it. I'm starting to think this blind bastard is rather incompetent. He promises a world but wants us to deliver on it. Anyway, this quest is a little out of my level range, at least for now, so I'm going to leave it. So I ended up back in the Stone Talon Mountains, and I was running along a road when I stumbled across a bounty board. Now normally I do these without hesitation, as you saw last episode with the Pirate Lord, but you see, I have a deathly fear of the thing that it was wanting me to kill. You see, I have a deathly fear of 8-legged creatures, and guess what it is I have to kill here? Yeah, that's right, it's a unicorn. No, it's not, it's a big bloody 8-legged creature. So after a little bit of deliberation, I decided to suck it up and rain down some divine justice on these hellhole creatures. Now, for every clip I show in these videos, there are 20 or 30 more I feel are unnecessary or don't portray the message I'm trying to show in the video, for whatever reason. And in the last episode, one of these clips that I left out was the start of a quest right here in Stone Talon Mountains. You see, for this quest, I have to go to a kobold cave and gather some crystals, along with scouting out the cave as well. You know, a bit like the mines in the Elwyn Forest for low-level Alliance characters. However, before this, I was way too underleveled, but part of the game is progression, and I'm now at the right level, so it's time to bring hell, baby. So for this quest, like I said, I need to go into the cavern and click on some crystals. This will then activate them and let me gather the remnants, and also to venture to the deepest parts of the cave. The kobolds in this cave seem like they'd make a damn good farm. Most likely not for the gold, because they only offer a few copper, maybe a silver at a time, but definitely for linen cloth and even experience points. You can probably level up quite quick from levels 18 to 19 to 20 here. Then we have the crystals, and oh boy, the crystals. Remember I said you need to activate them to collect them? Well yeah, nothing wrong with that you'd think, would ya? And normally I'd totally agree, however here the activation time is way too long. Probably takes about 30 seconds to activate the crystal. So if you don't clear pretty much all the mobs within a relatively wide area, well yeah, you can forget about those crystals. Once I gather the crystals and venture through the mine, I take them back to the quest giver, and no, I'm sad to say my reward for this quest was not a cheeseburger. If you don't get that joke, well I'd encourage you to watch the previous chapter. Anyway, when I turn in the quest, I get sent back to the cave I've just bloody been to, this time to summon some sort of mini-boss and finish the job that I've started. Which was meant to be a simple task, although it didn't stop the kobolds from killing me a couple of times. Remember last episode when I ran Ragefire Chasm and I was the low level character in that instance? Well, yeah, now it's roles reversed, as someone in my guild was looking for a member to run through Ragefire Chasm with him. Well, I'm not one to turn down a good dungeon run, so even though I'm now outside the level range of RFC, I decided I'd accommodate the request and run the dungeon group with them. And let me just say, it was a damn good thing I was so much higher level than the others were as well, as we didn't actually have a tank to do the run with. And technically we didn't have a healer either. You see, the guy who invited me was a druid, a balanced druid, and wasn't spec to heal. So we kind of had to make do essentially, because we'd invited 5 DPSs to the group. So I tried my best to tank, although pretty much we all grouped together to tank, and our druid friend healed. This really was a fun dungeon though, I really did enjoy myself in this one. Probably even more than I enjoyed it when I ran it last time as well. The reasons for this start with the fact that the group shared all of their quests, and this is something I love about Classic. If you have a dungeon quest in retail, or rather if you need a dungeon quest in retail, you can damn well guarantee you're not going to get it shared with you and you're going to have to go pick it up. And again, something that really makes me happy is the mechanic of communication. You know, the mechanic that isn't actually a mechanic and just rather an example of community gameplay, which makes the game so well, so well done. It just means it's a great game. Anyway, I don't think I need to run you through the whole dungeon again, so I'll leave this part here. I know, this episode hasn't been quite as hectic or Baron-hating as the previous ones, but in my eyes that's a good thing. I mean, I'm finally out of the bland and desolate wastelands and into something more colourful, if not more sombre, of the forest. And for this next quest, I actually get to go to a really vibrant, colourful area of the Stone Talon Mountains to kill some creatures for a blood elf. Again, this quest is slightly above my level range, but it didn't deter me. In fact, I'm probably actually a decent level here as to where I can get the maximum amount of experience for the kills without having to worry about being too low that it's impossible. As long as I make sure I pull single targets, I'll probably be able to get it done. So like I said, here I'm trying to kill some centaurs to please a blood elf, and my god was this one difficult. It took me quite a while to do this one, probably about an hour and a half, and I also did that Ragefire Chasm run in between. Anyway, this quest is really fun and I enjoyed going to a more colourful area for a change. And with that, chapter 3 of An Orc's life will come to an end. What will our hero do next time? Will Rorgork finally reach enlightenment? Will he buy some shoes instead of wearing leather sandals? Find out next time on An Orc's Life. Anyway guys, this has been chapter 3 of An Orc's Life, like I say, and if you have enjoyed this video, if you're enjoying this series, I'd highly encourage you to leave a like, a comment, hit that subscribe button. It really is the most helpful thing you can do to the channel. And until next time guys, I've been Connor from the Crow's Nest. This has also been Rorgork, and until next time, we'll see you around.